This unfinished bridge is very symbolic of Truman's adventure. He wants to go further, but there's some kind of godlike barrier preventing him from going where he wants to go. And at this unfinished bridge, which is the typical hangout spot of Truman and Norman, Truman is finally breaking down and saying, I just feel like everyone in my life is fake and they're in on something that has to do with me, and I don't understand why or what it's about. And he's not crying his eyes out, but his eyes are watery. It's very real, it's very honest. And you see Marlon saying these very kind things to him, like, hey, come on, what are you talking about? We grew up together, we copied each other's tests. They even have a line that they say amongst each other. We failed together, we succeeded together. It's like this very nice, kind line. And then the editing cuts to Christophe, who's feeding the lines to Marlon. So nothing Marlon has ever said to Truman has been real. Even in this moment, there's no improv acting. This is Christophe is writing Truman's life and guiding Truman into this place of complacency, trying to keep Truman on the show. And Marlon reveals that I know why you've been so upset for the course of this movie. And he points and reveals, I found him, Truman. I found him for you. And the homeless man returns on this bridge. And we don't quite see him very clearly. There's fog all over the place, but you know his silhouette. And then Truman gets up and sees him, and you see the look on Truman's face. And as Truman approaches, we cut back and forth between Christophe and the crew in the control room, sort of directing the cameras, directing the music, and it's like, okay, use wide cam. And they use this wide angle shot where you see behind Truman, and you still can't fully see the homeless man's face. And then he's like, cut to button cam 3, and then we see this sort of medium shot of Truman as he's coming closer, and the button cam is on the homeless man's clothes, looking at Truman, and you just see Truman's sort of lost face of, I can't believe I'm seeing you again. And then cut to a different angle, and we see them hold each other, and Paul Giamatti, who plays one of Christophe's producer crew guys, says, should I cut to close-up? And Christophe's like, no, wait. And they let the moment play of them hugging each other, and he's like, swell up music. And then the music goes up, and it's beautiful. And then he says, now go in for close-up. And the camera zooms in, kind of slowly, kind of quickly. It's kind of hard to describe, but it zooms in to Truman's face, and this wicked, crazy smile on his face, like he's so glad to see his father again after thinking he was dead for so long. And it's a really powerful, moving moment, and you see the entire crew just cries and claps, and you see the audience watching television live is crying and clapping, and they can't believe, oh, the dad is back, oh my God, Truman's okay again, you know? And it's and I just wanted to point out this scene this is what directing is. And in a literal way, this is what TV directing is, but this is what directing is. Christophe is controlling the length of the shot. He knows where the shot should be. There's no coverage. I mean, every angle is covered, but the way he uses the camera, he's just using the camera angles that tell the story. And so each shot builds up to seeing the dad's face. But first and most importantly, it's all about holding on Truman's suspense of who is he about to see and what's about to be Truman's reaction to all of this. And it's not until we get the hug and we get a pause that the music rises, and then we get the zoom in, and then it truly emotionally hits, because you're watching live Truman's sudden shocking reaction to having his father in his arms again. But that is what directing is. It is about guiding the audience visually and with music And with production design, set design, literally earlier in this same exact moment, Christoph is like, hey, easy on the fog. Like, there's so much fog, they can't even see the dad. So he's like, easy on the fog. We can't see anything. But stuff like that, the director is in charge of all of that. All of that is what creates the audience's reaction. But this is so meta because the film is showing you the director's process, even though it's in a live sense because it's television, because that's way more exciting. If you were to watch the film version of this, where Truman's actually an actor as well, then you would just be seeing, okay, cut shot, resetting up camera, setting up the next angle, setting up the next angle, and that the film real life version of film is much less exciting than the TV version, where it does kind of happen on the go. But nonetheless, this is what the director does. The director shoots the scene with an intended function. Every shot tells the story. This is what we call mise en scène. Everything in the frame tells the story. The wide shot of one man walking to the other man, the medium shot of the confused look and sort of bewilderment of Truman Burbank as he's looking at his father, and then going back to a little bit of a wide as they hold each other and hug each other, and you can see in this next wide shot that it's the same homeless man and that it's his dad. But we hold for that close-up until the maximum emotional moment happens, which is, Truman not fully accepting it, and finally, at the last second, just being overwhelmed with emotion that he's holding his father. Like, that is what storytelling is.